What's up, Moneyball family? I'm Jason, and always I have Donovan D Money Scott with me here today. In this episode, we have a really special guest, a Buffalo Bills fan favorite, somebody who gave everything they had each and every week on the field, and still to this day is giving back to Buffalo. Ladies and gentlemen, Stevie Johnson.
All
Yes,
right.
thank you.
Stevie.
Thanks for having me, fellas.
Oh
Good to
man,
be
it's our
Absolutely.
pleasure. Our pleasure.
Our pleasure, man. I want to dive right in. I wanted to ask you what's been going on. I know you were just back in Buffalo. I know you've been back and forth with Cali and East Coast, West Coast. And I got to ask you about this children's book, man. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, the children's book is dope, man. It was an idea that came about just randomly. I was doing an event at. First of all, let me just start off how all this stuff happened. All of this happens through partnerships, networking and collaborating with others. And in this instant, I was partnering with a business called Brickyard Brewery in Lewiston, and they allowed me to do like a music meet and greet and things like that. So where I combined like the inner city in the town of Lewiston, we was doing like a show there. And I had this one guy walked in and he said, "Hey man, I wrote a story about you." I'm like, damn, that's pretty interesting. Somebody write a story about me. I'm interested, man. You
Yeah,
took
right,
time
right.
Right.
to
Yeah,
know about me, you know what I mean?
yeah.
So I gave him my email, and he ended up sending it over. And one thing led to another. I ended up sending him like an email edit back because the story was kind of too perfect, and I don't want to be the guy that let kids think, okay, life is just like, oh, ABC. You know what I'm saying? Like super. It's not really
Okay.
like, you know what I mean?
I,
So
I like that. I like
yeah,
that. Yeah. So what do you
I,
mean? He had it like it was all like there was no bumps in the road, you mean?
yeah, no bumps in the road, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I ended up throwing in. I was like, man, let me just utilize something that I went through that was a hard time, and
Okay, so you made it relatable. You made it personal.
exactly made it
All right,
personal.
my man. Yeah.
Yeah, we just been thriving off of it, sparking minds, and we've been going here and there with businesses and just doing our part with the community on that aspect.
Now tell me what this book is called so all our viewers know and they can run out and get it for the kids.
Yeah, so we actually have two versions now. We got one was my story. There's always a way with Stevie J, and part two is Freddie J makes his play, and that just came out last month, and we're working on our third of that series is the Legend of Fitz Magic, and yeah. So
So Freddie J makes his play. That's Deuces wrote did that one?
yeah, yes. Well, so we get the story from the player. We ask them, tell me something that you went through growing up, or
Yeah.
your career, and I let them select that, and then I send it to our guys, and we just go back and forth with it, and then we have our illustrator Zach McCabe, who I ended up meeting once again on another partnership with Buffalo Go at a
Right.
golf course at Harvest Hill. Shout out Harvest Hill. They allowed me to set up and put a basketball court on a golf course, and this was about 2 years ago. Um, and yeah, Zach came through and he made a bucket, and he said he's an artist. I'm interested in art. We ended up connecting, and then one thing led to another. I just put people together, and we got our books going now.
I absolutely love that, man. I love everything about that. I know Fred and his family pretty well. Actually, they before they moved, they lived about a street over. So
Okay, yeah,
yeah, we knew them, and my wife ended up selling his house for him, before they moved out. And still try to keep in touch, when I can. He's a great dude and great family. You still keep in touch with those guys?
yeah, for sure. Freddie was
Yeah.
my roommate.
Oh yeah.
Dang near my career, yeah, as a rookie, and going through it, like we end up seeing our jerseys get sold in the stores in the windows together
Okay.
from nothing to something, So when we connected with the Imagine We Publishers, which is basically where you can get the book at imaginewepublishers.com.
Okay.
It was just perfect to utilize him because like I seen his come up just like the city of Buffalo seeing my rise.
Yep.
It's so good.
That is awesome. Now, I know you're a huge basketball guy, and you've actually kind of gave credit to basketball as part of why you're so good at route running in the NFL. So you were just here for a basketball tournament. Tell me about that as well.
Yeah, so we had a connection with guys in the city, guys and girls. Shout out Rocky, shout out Rick. I can go on, but yeah, we ended up connecting and making a 3-on-3 tournament, first ever at Reese Park. And it was a success. You know, we brought teams from different areas in the neighborhood. That was my idea, to bring people together, bring the communities together, bring different neighborhoods, and have a peaceful but competitive event. You know, something not
Absolutely.
watered down. It was to the city's liking. We had performances, we had art there, we had food, we had Pancho's Army came out, gave us some pizza. You know,
Okay.
it was there, you know, and everybody came out to hoop. We had some elite players. It was cool. It was a great turnout, and we go run it back next month.
That's what I was going to ask you, if you planned on doing this kind of, but it looks like you're going way before annually. You're talking about another one this year.
Yeah, so I'll be back out there next month doing a watch party with the Buffalo Bills at the Seneca Casino,
Right
and
on.
yeah, so every time I have time to get back, you know, I always get into the community, you know. So I've connected with my partners out there, and we're able to create this, and we are also bringing a 7-on-7 to the Resource Council of Western New York on August 27th. So that's going to be something fun for the community, just continuously creating and letting them see me, letting the kids see me and see everybody together, unity. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah,
building
absolutely.
that aura, and it's a success. It's a success so far.
Well,
Now you obviously you're back out west, right? And you're from out west. Um,
I
seems like
understand.
you're out here, it seems like you're out on this East Coast, seems like you're in Buffalo an awful lot. So you certainly fell in love with it, right? I mean,
yeah.
Yeah,
a lot of people now, let me ask you an honest question, right? When you come to Buffalo, right, as a player, you might not be too stoked, right? You're probably like, oh man, Buffalo. We've heard all the stories. Some players will lie and say, oh yeah, I couldn't wait to get wherever I was going. I was so lucky, right? But
yeah.
some of the other players are like, no, man, it's the last place I want to go. What were your
Right.
feelings on coming to Buffalo, and tell us a little bit how the city grew on you?
Yeah, I mean, for me it was different because I was in the seventh round. So maybe you can ask those questions to people by round they was chosen and selected. You know,
Yeah,
first
that's a
round
good point.
they
That's a good point. Yep, I do.
want to go somewhere else. Seventh rounders, they don't care where the hell they going. You know, they
That's a good
paid.
answer, my man. That's a good answer.
So yeah, that was my whole process. So I love the city just for taking that chance on me. You know, I didn't know how things was working with fans. I wasn't as um I guess invested in the fans like I am now. I
Right.
was like I knew I wanted to invest in the fans as far as making a connection though. I wanted to be different, you know, like people that never seen before, really. I wanted to be the kid that when I looked on the TV and like, man, I wish I can be around that person.
I love
But
it.
I never had that opportunity. I wanted to end up being that, you know what I'm saying? But there was no examples really in Buffalo because nobody was doing that, you know. So I kind of took that chance with the community, and that's why I still had that passion to do more now and continuously create. Like it was pretty cool that you opened up with the book because
Yeah.
like I see my passion is with the kids because they're the future, obviously.
Hmm.
But it was crazy because like I did events at the garage on Hurdle, and I loved them. It was great. We had kids there, and it just hit me like, what about the kids that's got disabilities? You know, like
Right, right.
I they can't come here, so I'm actually looking for hospitals that I can go to in Buffalo and be able to extend my reach there and put them in books because you know it's cool to have legs and have opportunities and being out of the bed hospital or whatever and show up to these places. But what about the ones that can't? You know, so I'm always thinking of ways to create maybe digitally or every time I'm in town I just show up or create a book around them. You know, so while
Well,
I got
listen,
the
we'll
doing it.
talk a little more about what you just said. Because I got some real close, some people at Roswell in real good positions.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
So,
Then.
maybe you and I will talk a little bit about that after, but I think that could be a match made in heaven, man, as far as what
Yeah,
you're looking to do.
yeah, definitely. I'll be out there. I'm thinking about like August 23rd. So if we got a 24th open in that morning, like I'm ready to ride around and talk and see what we can do
Awesome. Yeah.
and make it happen because I feel like nobody's gonna do it unless we do it. You know what I'm saying?
I love your
People,
attitude, man. I absolutely love your attitude.
yeah, let's go for it. You know, let's go for it. They world and that
All
kind
right,
of you know,
Jay, hit this guy up with some hard questions now.
Oh
yeah.
man, well, hard questions, man. Take me back, through the years with Fitzmagic, man. Like what was it like? And I know you had such a close connection with him. And what other guys did you have a close connection with? And tell me some of your favorite moments when you were playing.
All right, yeah, we can start with Fitz. So with Fitz, he was so dope because he sacrificed. He sacrificed being not being a robot for my style of play, basically. You know, when other quarterbacks would have had to do 1, 2, 3 step drop, you got to let it go. You can't hitch or do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they was on. I was still probably shaking or doing, you know what I'm saying, trying to create more space. And he had
Yes, you
sacrificed and
were.
hold, yeah, he'd hold it a little more or sidestep a little bit, and then he'd get it to me. He was doing things like that, and we was kind of creating, and it was cool, but we didn't know what we was doing. You know, if we knew really, if we really had an idea of what we was doing, like I think we would have been even better. But we was just out there trying to make plays and trying to win, you know, and you know, it was fun. It was fun. It was ups and downs, like a roller coaster. You know, it was just like that.
Well, you guys did something right because you were the first Bills receiver ever to have 3 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. So
Right.
congratulations on that. And
Right. That's thank you, and that's something like I was saying. Like I didn't even know when that was coming up. When they were standing, I'm like, you got to be kidding me because there's so many greats that came through here and wore these colors. You feel me?
right,
Right.
Reed, Lofton, all those guys, right? It just
Yeah, yeah. So that felt good to me being a seventh round draft pick, being a last thought. You know what I'm saying? Looked over, not complimented in the receiver room ever because what I'm doing is different. And then I guess injuries happen, and I got an opportunity, and then I become the first to do. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah,
thought
no,
that
crazy.
was cool. And props to my teammates, man. Like they helped me a lot too. You know, you said who am I close to, and things like that.
yeah.
I got a lot of them, but I'll just keep it, professional in a sense. The guy that taught me the most was Drayton Florence, as a defensive back,
Oh, wow.
and
Yeah.
yeah, I give props to him because he'll sit down with me and he'll really open his mind as a defender. And I felt like as a youngin in the league, like, dang, you telling me all your tricks and stuff. But it was just he was like, I'm gonna sharpen your tool, you go get me better, and you know what I'm saying, iron sharpen iron. So he kind of instilled that in me, and that kind of made practice even funner too. Now I'm telling the DBs with my things, and it was just making me better because on Sundays the other opponents they had no clue what to do with me, and I
Right.
knew that. So
I think I mean, you kept these guys definitely, man, sharpen that sword, and you kept these guys on their toes, right? You were so unique in your craft with your route running. To this day, and I was a season ticket holder back then, and that was kind of the years where I was real, I guess, real hardcore Bills. Right now, I'm a little bit older and I have a family, so I don't quite go as hard, right, as far as the Bills games.
You're
And I
you're not
remember
flying through
watching.
tables, Donovan?
What's that?
You're not flying through tables?
Yeah, no Bills Mafia for me,
Okay.
man. I'll let the young cats handle that. But I mean, the style and your route running and the way you did things was just pioneer, man. And I think every player now, right, that comes out, if they have that quickness, they're all trying to kind of use you as an example of how did he do that, right? How can I run routes like that? How can I get open so uniquely? Um, and it's just it says a lot about what you did because it sounds to me like you created it on your own, you know?
yeah, yeah, essentially I did, and it's funny because I put that in the children's book also. So the kids
Okay.
like that was a part of my adversity. How do I keep up? Basically,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
something different. That I know I'm good in basketball. I know I studied Allen Iverson to where I can get that crossover on anybody. So
Yep.
let me incorporate it in football, and I would just work at it, work at it, work at it, and then from junior college up, I was just sharpening my tool for the Bills and becoming, who I became, a space
Yeah.
creator. And
Yeah.
it was a pretty cool journey. It was tough, and I let the kids know that I trained.
Yeah.
Every coach is not going to agree with this style. So you got to trust it enough to where you're going to get in the fire with your coach and with something, but you got to understand you go come out on top because the space will be beautiful once you really get it, and it's going to be sweet. And yeah, I'm actually working on a digital ebook now for the people, like I was talking about with the kids that we couldn't get in touch with. I can't get in touch with everybody at these camps and these private camps and my exposure academies. So I'm going to create a digital ebook with like my space creating technique, and I'm gonna try to touch the world and get them all my skills,
Stevie,
before
you sleep or no, man?
handle biz. That's it. That's all I know.
I
That's
mean, you
all.
got those. You are plugged in, dude. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to make world better, make the other athletes better. I'm trying to make their life easier than what mine was, and I'm trying to just prepare them. That's everything that I do is what I love anyway. So it's not nothing extra in a sense.
Where are you from out in Cali?
San Francisco.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Who were we just talking with, Jay? We just had it was Taiwan, right?
Taiwan, Oakland, right?
Taiwan was out there, Oakland.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we just had him on, and he was telling us a little bit about that. And wasn't Jamarcus from out there? No.
Well, I think he stayed out there a little bit, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of our guests are from out there, man. And you guys all have this real kind of chill vibe about you, man. Like I like you guys. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you all have good stories and real positivity, and it's just I love it. It's because you guys are pro athletes, right? And it's synonymous sometimes, with pro athletes being divas or this or that. And I'll tell you what, man, it's the last thing I'm hearing from that, right? So
yeah. I mean, some of us come from places where you just like never expect us to make it or be in a position that we're in or have the name or credibility we have. And the things we've seen is like, damn, So I think a lot of the people on that West Coast kind of got that same vibe, you know what I mean? And it's, I don't know exact personal stories, but I know enough,
100%. And you don't take it for granted. Yep.
Yeah, I try not to take it for granted, man. We can dive deep, but I don't want to go too far.
That's okay.
Now, speaking of San Francisco, why'd the Bills trade you, Stevie? What happened?
It was a tough time. It was one of them times where, we obviously, when you're not winning, your coach is on a hot seat. And I definitely wish we were winning enough to where we could have kept Chan or at least even Fitz another year, even though the wave was we need something new and we need something fresh. And then EJ Manuel come around. There's a guy who's looking big like Doug Marrone. And it's like, oh, dang, this dude looks like he's going to bring some, you know what I mean? And it really wasn't that, so they were just trying to make a play and shake things up. And they actually, I feel like they looked out for me for sending me back home at least.
Yeah.
But I did not want to leave at all. And, they never said nothing about, do you want to have a contract, something, negotiate, anything, nothing, and that's what kind of hurt me, but it shouldn't, because that's the business, really. They don't owe that.
Yeah.
And we hear that a lot too. Sorry, Jay. We hear that a lot too, as far as, the business side of things. And it's probably right where you were going, that we think a lot of the time. And, we hear these stories about the business side, and, you can't let it get too personal, and I think at that time, the Bills, let's be honest, they were a bit of a mess, right? There were a few highlights. There were some bright spots like Stevie Johnson and Fitz, and a couple other guys. And then it was just kind of tumultuous years and dealing with coaches in and out, man. And there was that time period. I'll tell you what, I'd love to have Stevie Johnson running those routes right now with Josh Allen throwing him the ball. I can tell you that much.
Right. Josh Allen and having a Diggs or a Gabe Davis.
Yeah, right.
Up there, just having a Knox. Like, that squad is lit up, with stars around the board. And that would be so cool. When we finally have something that we might work with, we get rid of Lee Evans, you know what I'm saying? So, It was tough. It was trying to find something different in a time period that was in a serious mode. It wasn't open like it was now. That's why I really love basketball. They're a bit ahead of us, when it came to trading players and putting them on the same team. Now we're doing it. I can even jump out into the lane of fashion. I'm getting fined for having a freaking hoodie under my suit jacket. But the NBA players wearing, they represent their style, and it's cool. There's nothing harmful about it. Now they was letting it slide and things like that. So it was a time period that was so different, and maybe I just wasn't in the right time period, but I'm appreciative of it all.
Yeah, I remember it distinctly. I used to call it the no fun league.
Yeah, exactly. We'll never hear that now.
Right. So it's funny. My favorite player was Chad Johnson.
Indeed. Him and Steve Smith and T.O. Those were guys. Yeah, those were my guys.
Right. And that was fun, man. That, whenever they scored, you were excited to see what, and yourself included, man. Like, we were always excited to see what was going to happen next.
Oh, you were just, what? And it was worth the price of admission just to see what Stevie was going to do. And it was it got to a point where it was like, you know what? Find me, and and to have the courage to do that, especially on national TV and stuff, man. I mean, that says everything about somebody's character, because you weren't doing anything, negative.
Yeah,
You weren't, trying to hurt anybody or some racist things or anything like
yeah,
that. You know what I mean? You were just having fun, man.
Well,
man, yeah.
so speaking of, I was gonna save it for later, but
Oh boy.
while we're talking about it,
Oh
Stevie.
boy.
Hey, let's go. What you mean? What you mean,
Well,
brother?
All right. What is it? No, no, I don't have it on.
yes, yes.
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh
Oh God,
man.
I love
Hey,
this
man,
guy.
hey, what a time to say it though, man. That was it. Like I wish it was the fun league then, because I had so many ideas, but I was just being attacked, man. And I just felt like if I keep doing more, they really gonna shit me out. And I don't want to leave Buffalo because my
Yeah.
goal is to win the play. I mean, to get to the playoffs here.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I couldn't accomplish that goal. I usually conquer all my goals, but that one got away from me.
So
And
tell me about that the why so serious. I know the story because like obviously you were one of my favorite guys. Chad was one of my favorite guys. So, but tell the story of how that came about because it's great. It's an amazing story.
yeah, it came about. We was in the locker room just waiting on the game. It was quiet and everything. And then they had the magazine with Batman and Robin and Tio and Joker. Tio and Ocho
Yeah.
on the cover with the Batman mobile in the car in the back. So I seen it. I'm like, okay, let me do something. Let me do something. So I go to the bathroom. I get like the face paint. I color like the Joker smile on my face. I come back out. Um, After telling Fitz like I got something planned. And then, he thought that was just it, just coming out with a Joker face paint,
Yeah.
Like, yeah, cool.
Now was
Yeah,
that
And
at halftime or was that
before the game even started, before the
okay?
game, yeah. So it almost never happened because I never celebrate. I never do anything if I'm losing or, if we lose, I don't do no celebrating, having fun. And we were down like 21 points.
Oh yeah.
I scoring that touchdown, but I had so much on me from outside stuff and this and that, blah, blah,
Yep.
blah. It was like, why? I was like, man, forget it. I'm going to just lift it up, man. Why so serious, man? We just go have fun. Let's do this. And that ended up blowing up into way more than I expected it to. I was only just trying to have fun with Tio and Ocho, my favorite receivers, that
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
scored, have fun too. And we ended up making a comeback in that game. And in the huddle, man, me and Fitz was talking. We was just like, hey, man, look, I'm gonna just go to you. Just go to work, man. Do what you do you. And we went crazy and ended up blowing up and it was history.
It
Now
was
that's
awesome.
that's a good segue too, as far as you said you guys are down 21 points. You do something, right, to try to get the team back in it. And well, that's not what you intended, right? But that's
Yeah.
what ended up happening. So from you just being and kind of having that chill attitude, and you said, hey man, I got all this going on, and what that did was it inspired the whole team, man. They played different after that. They said, okay, man, let's go out and do it. It's just like any level of any athletics where something happens during the game. I can give you an example. Last night, man, I was coaching my son's 8U baseball team, and one of our little guys got hit in the face with a ball, right?
Come on.
So he's got the bloody lip, and he's crying, and we're telling him, shake it off, right? And what happened right after that was, let's go do it for Levon, right? Like
Okay.
so we're all
Okay.
chanting, let's do it for Levon, let's do it for Levon. And it's that kind of thing, that brings teams back into it. And that sounds like that's exactly what happened in your case.
Yeah, they had something to rally on.
Yeah, yeah.
They had somebody that said, you know what, forget it, man. He going against the system. Let's go, man. He out there, and man, yeah, one thing led to another, and we was just floating. We were for offense, defense. We was just floating, man. It was smooth playing. They rolled well. It was beautiful, man.
It
Can't,
was.
yeah, say
You had
much about that.
you had 3 touchdowns that game, right? Is that your most memorable game of your career?
Nah, that Pittsburgh game
I wasn't gonna bring it up, man. I wasn't.
is. I feel like that is it ain't the most, but in a sense, is up there with like as good as much as a good game
Yeah.
because it also identified a lot of things that we can learn from and meet. Yeah, it gets deep, man. I never thought I want to be like the example of when something bad happened. I always wanted to see another athlete go through something and see how they overcame it and this and that. But I was like, yeah, I'm good. I wouldn't want to do that though.
I'm
Like
good.
the guy that makes all the game winning catches, I end up missing the game winning catch, and I become I was in a dark spot, and it was like, dang, you got to realize you are that example now, whether you like it or not. You got to utilize it in some type of way, and segue to the children's books. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm giving everybody else opportunities to show their humility and
Yep.
let them feel comfortable instead of being, manly man. All that don't phase me. That don't ever affect. Let's utilize it though. Let's show the other kids that it did hit you, but you found out a way to utilize that thing and flip it into a spark. So that's what I'm doing now with that with our spark books.
So such a good point, such a good example. And I like, that you're man enough and you say, yeah, it did hurt. It did hurt. I was in a dark spot, and you put yourself at such a high level and you have these expectations for yourself. Something like that happens. Well, you can go one of two ways, right? I mean, oh man, that didn't phase me. Go into a hole and let it ruin you, like eat you alive, or do exactly what you just said, man. So props for that, because that's the best outcome.
Yeah, definitely, man. Appreciate the understanding, and
Sure.
yeah, I'm gonna keep on spreading it, man. I got a lot to create. We editing right now for for like our docu-series that we have for student athletes and entrepreneurs, and like we're trying to touch all these minds and let them know, man, because mental health is huge, is big out here in inner cities, outer cities, whatever cities you want to say.
Yeah.
It's everywhere because we all know how to put on our poker face in a sense, so mentorship is huge for me and my family and my club with that for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna link up with you when we're done with this for a couple things I was talking about. I'll make sure I get in touch with you and we'll hit on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, excellent, man. Each one teach one,
Yeah, I dig it. I like it.
do it. That's how we do it.
So what do you got, Jay? You thinking rapid fire here?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You ready? You're ready for it? We didn't warn Stevie on this.
We didn't warn him. What we like to do at the end of these is what's called rapid fire, right? We both get 3 questions. We just fire them at you. You just kind of answer them as quickly as you can. What comes to your head? Nothing too personal, man. Not too much heavy lifting.
I'm gonna keep it real basic because I got
Yeah. No, we're not coming at you too hard, bro. I promise.
Yeah, these are easy ones.
There's always a day to do something. I'm gonna keep it cool though.
All right. So I'll start it out. Like I said, they're easy, right? Known for the route running, right? You were like a jigsaw puzzle running, man. Who was the toughest defender ever? Who do you think, like, every time you battled with, you were like, man, this is gonna be a challenge?
None. No, my teammates, but really nobody.
Okay. Hey, that's a confident answer. I like it.
Yeah. Just like we had a whole conversation on route running and being the first without even knowing being kind of the first how I'm moving.
Yep.
But I knew I was using basketball moves, and I utilized that because I knew football players weren't playing basketball at the time. They weren't practicing for that. So nobody I really had extra thought. I would look at them on film. I'd identify what type of DB they are, and then I got them. I already know their timing.
I love that.
You always seemed to play better against the better cornerbacks, like Darrelle Revis. You always stepped up your game when it came to the better defenders.
Yeah, man. It's just like a prove them right, prove them wrong type of thing,
Yeah.
Everybody talking about this guy. Okay, let's see what he can do against me. Can he hold me? I just wish it happened better with the Pittsburgh game because they was the #1 defense at the time, and I was just really I wasn't in my right mind though. I wasn't in my right mind. So
yeah, you don't need to get into all that again, man. We're not trying to bring back these bad memories. I mean, we don't need to get there.
Word up.
All right, Jay, you're up.
All right, we'll make it an easy one. Keep it. What's the hardest hit? Who gave you the hardest hit ever in your career?
Who hit me? Nobody, but it was kind of a blind side hit. I don't even know this guy's name, to be honest. I was probably in my rookie or my second year. It was against the Patriots. I was on kickoff. This is how young I was. I was on kickoff return, and I was on the front line of kickoff return though. So
yeah.
Exactly. I'm early, and I just turned around. I wasn't really paying attention. Like, oh, you got the L4, Stevie, or whatever. I'm like, yeah, whatever, man. I run back. Yeah, I'm the L4. Big linebacker dude, man. He hit me so hard. I don't know who it was. All I know is the play was going that way, and I was face that away. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is the league. I need to
Yeah.
lock in so I can be more prepared. And that was like one guy. I can't give you a name though, but yeah, it was against the Patriots in my early years.
Hey, you know what? That means it didn't happen too often, and that's a good thing. So, that's
Yeah,
okay that we don't have names, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know who it was. It was just some big, like a gorilla coming down the field, man. Like I block him. Oh man,
I
yeah,
would
it
have
was.
just been like, nope, no, I'm good. I'm good. At least you
Hey,
tried. All
yeah.
right.
So look, hey, wait, let me go back.
Yeah, yeah.
Some people do that, but those are the people that get cut. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
because the film don't lie, and I know that we're gonna watch this in film room. I'm a 7th round draft pick. They're going to pick on you, so I had to just sacrifice it and do my job and let them see. Yeah, you tried it. I know he's overmatched, but you tried it, man. You got heart.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I like it. I'm going Buffalo, obviously, right? You are you a wing guy, the flats, or you like the drums?
I like the breast. I like the breast.
The chicken wing, the wing, man.
Oh,
We all like the breast. I'm talking about chicken wings now, Stevie.
yeah, okay. Yeah, nah, I like dang. I like both.
All
I
right,
like
listen,
I'll take
that's the
it.
first answer. We got both, and I love it. This guy, you could tell everything. He's so unique with everything he does that even the chicken wing question, is
Yeah.
both.
it,
Not one thing so far that you've said has been with anybody else has said, man. I absolutely love it, dude. I love your personality, man.
All right.
yeah, that's what it. I mean, that's what it, man. If it was baked chicken, I'll take the wing.
Okay.
Okay.
But it also depends how baked is it. I like a little bit of crunch on it. If it's too like wet and soft, I don't really mess with the drums. I don't really mess with it a lot at all.
It's got to be done a certain way. He's got to be done a certain way. Go
Hey,
ahead.
Gotta be right.
that's right. All right. Give me your best. Who's the best wide receiver of all time, in your opinion?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good man. There's so many, bro. There's so many. But on my mind, I'm thinking Randy Moss right now. I'm
That's
thinking
mine. That's my guy.
he was a. I just go look at it. T.O. is in my top, and Jerry Rice. I like Deion Sanders. This is why, even though he didn't have all the stats and stuff, but I was like, this dude played defense. Oh, and he on offense, and they threw him the ball every time he's in. Like, do they not know it's going to him? And he made the play every time. It was like, yo,
Remember
he's great.
Deion Sanders, man? He'd be running back those kickoffs, and it was him and Tim McIver. Nobody usually remembers the other guy. And they did the laterals, right? And I had man, I was obsessed with those guys. It was Andre Rison was on the team, Deion was playing, and McIver, and they do that lateral every time, and somehow it worked. And that one year, I think they had like 6 or 7 kickoff or punt returns. Man, he was so fast too, right?
Yeah, hey, shout out to you, man. You saying bringing up Andre Rison because I was thinking about that earlier because he was doing a lot of Showtime stuff back then too, and
He was kind of the pioneer, yeah.
Bad Moon.
so yeah, shout out to the Bad Moon.
All right, my last rapid fire. Poor Andre Rison. I'll start thinking about him. My last rapid fire. Man, any regrets? Any regrets as far as playing career goes?
Nah, no real regrets. Looking back at it now, I can see what we could have done more of, or I can't say do less of because I didn't party super hard. I got some crazy stories and stuff, but I didn't do nothing over the top that I would have regretted. Just looking back, I just seeing how these guys working and really like the off season type stuff. Even though I was doing my thing to better myself, I think we could have did more together. Fitz brought us together in Arizona for a couple years, maybe one year. I'm not sure, 1 or 2 years. It was maybe 1 year. We only came together 1 year, but it was a beautiful time. It was great, and that ultimately helped us prevail on the field. Because it was early, and I like more of that could have been done. That's what I think about, but. I don't really take nothing back because we had a hell of a time at practice talking and going battling each other and having that stuff and growing from it. No real regrets. Just maybe we could have did more. Always having that mindset.
Great answers, man. This was a lot of fun. Again, I can't thank you enough for taking the time with us. Jay, you have anything before we got to let the man go?
You can see I got a bunch of stuff displayed. I want to know, do you have a piece of memorabilia that you hold near and dear? Like, did you ever swap a jersey with somebody that you just could never get rid of?
No jersey, but I have a TV. You mind if I go get it?
Oh yeah.
No, let's see it. Yeah, we'd love to see it.
We should do like MTV Cribs, like what's in Stevie's fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the fridge back there?
That'd be cool. We can probably do something like that on another. That'd be dope. A little segment.
Yeah.
But yes, this here, Vizio TVP was presented to the top value performer, and basically it was like the person that was paid the least and was doing the most.
No way.
And
No way.
yeah, Vizio presented that to me, and I was able to. Vizio was so cool because I'm like, damn, TV. It was giving me free TVs. I'm like, can we give this to the fans? Let's do something where if I score a touchdown, I can give a TV to the fan, to a fan that signed up, and the Boys and Girls Club, because I came from the Boys and Girls Club in that city that I scored in. So it was pretty cool. They honored that deal for me, and
Wow.
Yeah, this is special to me. This is something
That's
special.
really cool. That's actually really unique, man. You're not gonna see too many people with that.
I didn't even know about that award. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. It's pretty cool, man. Shout out Vizio. Vizio. Love.
Yeah, for sure. So once again, thank you very much, Stevie Johnson. Amazing guest. A lot of fun, man. Super cool. Thanks for coming on with us. Moneyball. That's where it's at.
Thank you, Stevie.
Love. Peace. Handle biz. Have fun. Repeat.